Hello students and friends, I am your Ram Singh, present again with the new topic, that is major industries. Means today, as our series of these industries is going on, so we are going to discuss about the major industries. Which are those major industries which are important for us? Let us discuss about them. Among the various industries of the world, some are widely distributed while others are concentrated in specific areas. You will now learn about some of the major industries, their important centers and reasons for their development at these centers. First of all, that is iron and steel industry. The iron and steel industry is one of the most important industries. It produces steel, which is used as raw material in various industries like automobile, shipbuilding, machine tools, etc. Steel is also widely used in the construction of large buildings. Many of the things that we use at home, like utensils, cutlery, scissors, and even safety pins, are made of steel. The development of iron and steel industry in a country thus leads to industrial diversification and contributes to the economic development and prosperity of the country. The chief raw materials required for the production of steel, iron ore, coal, limestone, and manganese. Iron ore is melted in a furnace and the molten iron is mixed with carbon and other things to make steel. So this is the process to make steel. Steel is stronger than iron and more resistant to the rust. Earlier, steel plants were located near the sources of iron and coal for convenience in transportation these bulky materials to the factories. However, steel plants are now coming up in coastal locations as well. These plants usually use imported materials or export their products. Initially, the iron and steel industry was concentrated in Britain. Here, steel production started in second half of the 18th century and increased rapidly after the Industrial Revolution. From Britain, the industry spread to other parts of the world. China, Japan, USA, Russia, India, South Korea, Germany, Ukraine, Brazil, and Italy are some of the largest producers of steel in the world. Iron has been used in India since Vedic times. India is lucky to have large deposits of iron ore, coal, limestone, and manganese, the main raw materials required for the production of steel. Moreover, all these minerals are found in the same belt. This reduces the cost of transportation and so ultimately the total cost of production. This is why most of India's iron and steel plants are located in the mineral belt stretching over Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. After that, the first steel plant was set up in Kulti, that is in West Bengal, in 1874, and the next at Jamshedpur, it is in Jharkhand, and it was located in 1907. Two more steel plants were set up before independence, one at Burnpur, that is in West Bengal, and other at Bhadravati, that is in Karnataka. Several more have come up since independence at Bhilai, it is in Chhattisgarh, Rourkela, Odisha, Durgapur, West Bengal, Bokaro, Jharkhand, Salem, Tamil Nadu, Vijayanagar, Karnataka, and Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. The production of steel has increased considerably since independence, and India is now a major steel producing country. However, it imports some types of steel which it does not produce. The Steel Authority of India Limited (SAIL) was set up in 1973 to promote the steel industry. Iron and steel industry of Pittsburgh, it is in USA. The city of Pittsburgh and the area surrounding it form the main center of iron and steel industry. Now, some are the reasons which are responsible for the establishment of industries in this particular area. What are those? First one, the location of Pittsburgh in local coal mining areas of the northern Appalachian mountains, a steady supply of coal to the iron and steel industry. Iron ore was brought first from the Lake Superior region and later from the Ontario, Quebec region of Canada. Nowadays, rejected or wasted steel, known as scrap, mainly from engineering industries, is increasingly being used instead of iron ore. Limestone is available locally and is also brought from distant places like Birmingham and Northern Ohio. Second reason, that is beside a local market, the engineering industries on the western shore of Lake Erie and shipbuilding centers on the eastern coast of the USA also produces markets for the steel manufactured at Pittsburgh. After that, third reason, that is Pittsburgh is located where the river Monongahela unite to form the Ohio. It has a dense network of roads, railways and waterways linking it with the cities of the Atlantic coast as well as those of the Great Lakes region. After that, the last reason, that is the flat topography and temperate climate and availability of skilled labor in the region also make Pittsburgh an ideal site for industry. After that, the iron and steel industry of Jamshedpur. In India, production of steel on modern basis or modern lines began after Jamshedji Tata founded the Tata Iron and Steel Company, that is known as TISCO, at Sakchi in the Singhbhum district of Jharkhand. A steel plant was set up under the company in 1907. The industrial town that developed around this steel plant came to be called Jamshedpur or Tatanagar after the great entrepreneur. The presence of steel factory led to the growth of other industries in the region, and factories producing locomotives, tin, plate, steel, cable, agricultural implements, etc. were set up. Now, what are those reasons which are responsible for the establishment of industries in the Jamshedpur? Jamshedpur is located in a mineral-rich region which has all the raw materials essential for producing steel. The manufacturing units in Jamshedpur provide a large market to TISCO or for TISCO products. The setting up the several new steel plants in different parts of the country has somewhat restricted TISCO all India market. After that, being situated at the junction of important roads and railways, Jamshedpur has good transport facilities. It is linked with the port of Kolkata and Mumbai and also with the nearby coal and iron ore mines. Next point which is responsible, that is Jamshedpur is located at the confluence of rivers Subarnarekha and Kharkai. This ensured a steady supply of water to the town and its factories. Last point, that is the flat terrain, a comfortable climate and availability of cheap labor from the surrounding densely populated areas have also contributed to the growth of the iron and steel industry at Jamshedpur. Now, let us discuss the similarities between Pittsburgh and Jamshedpur as center of iron and steel industry. What are those? Let us discuss here. Both Pittsburgh and Jamshedpur have the advantage of an early start in their respective countries. Both the centers are located fairly close to sources of important raw materials. Both are well connected by roads and railways. Pittsburgh has the added advantage of cheap water transport through the Great Lakes. Both the centers are situated at the confluence of rivers and have an abundant supply of water. Both the centers are situated on flat land and have a comfortable climate. Being situated in densely populated areas, both the centers have access to a supply of cheap labor. In the Pittsburgh region, engineering and electronic goods industries are now becoming more important than the steel industry. The iron and steel industry of Jamshedpur has, however, withstood tough competition from the new steel plants set up in India after independence. TISCO is still an important producer of steel in the country and the only major Indian steel plant in the private sector. Next type of industry, that is cotton textile industry. The textile industry is one of the oldest manufacturing industries. It uses fiber as raw material. The fiber may be natural like cotton, silk, jute, wool and flax, or synthetic like nylon, polyester, acrylic and rayon. The cotton textile industry initially developed as cottage industry. Later, large units employing large number of workers were set up. In advanced countries, automatic machines that can be run by few skilled workers have now replaced the old simple machines. The cotton textile industry is market-oriented industry. Densely populated areas with a high demand for cotton cloth are ideal locations for this industry. Raw material, that is raw cotton, the chief raw material, is neither difficult or expensive to transport. Hence, cotton mills do not need to be located near the sources of raw material. Britain was once the world's largest producer of cotton cloth. At present, China, Pakistan, India, the USA and Japan are some of the leading producers. India's cotton textile industry dates back to ancient times. Textiles like the muslin of Dhaka, the calicoes of Calicut, Kozhikode today, were once in great demand all over the world. India's cotton textile industry suffered a major setback after the Industrial Revolution, when its product had compete with cheap machine-made products or the British cloth. India's first modern textile mill was set up in 1854 in Mumbai. Now, there are a large number of cotton mills in India. There are spinning mills which produce cotton yarn. There are many composite mills which produce both yarn and cloth. Khadi or khaddar is kind of handloom cloth woven from homespun cotton yarn. India's cotton textile mills are concentrated mainly in cotton growing states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, but cotton mills need to be set up in cotton growing areas alone. After that, many of the industries are located. Important centers such as Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Sholapur, Nagpur, Vadodara, Surat, Coimbatore, Madurai, Chennai, Gwalior, Indore, Kanpur, Delhi, Ludhiana, Panipat, Puducherry and Kolkata. India is leading producer and exporter of cotton textile. It also exports ready-made garments. The textile industry of Osaka. Osaka, it is located in Japan, located in island of Honshu in Japan, was once the seat of world's leading cotton textile industry. It was taken for the superior quality of its products. Now, what are the reasons for the development of cotton textile industry in the Osaka? Osaka is not located in a cotton growing region, so its textile industry depended on imported raw material. It sold products mainly in international market. Osaka's coastal location and port facilities it offered were therefore an advantage. Raw cotton for Osaka spinning mills was imported from the USA, India, China, Egypt, etc. The river Jodo supplied water to the mills. The power for the mills was generated mainly from imported coal. Osaka's location on flat land, which is rare in Japan, made it easier for mills to be set up in the city. The densely populated plains around Osaka initially provided cheap labor for the mills and enterprises of the local people was also an advantage. Later, the mills were provided with modern machinery that could be operated by fewer people. Osaka's naturally moist climate facilitated the spinning of yarn. As mentioned earlier, Osaka's textile had a large international market. Osaka produced a wide variety of textiles by blending different types of fibers, both natural and synthetic. Now, with the growth of industries like iron and steel engineering, oil refining, etc., in Osaka, the textile industry of the city has lost its importance. The textile industry of Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad, on the bank of river Sabarmati in Gujarat, is an important center of the Indian cotton textile industry. What are the reasons for the development of cotton textile industry in Ahmedabad? Let us discuss one by one. The first of all, that is raw cotton locally available in Ahmedabad. Second one, Ahmedabad is not very far from the coast, so its climate is reasonably moist and quite suitable for the development of cotton textile industry. Next one, river Sabarmati supplies water to the mills. The mills get cheap power from the hydel power station of the Western Ghats. The flat terrain and the relatively low price land have favored the establishment of mills and development of an efficient transport network in the region. Ahmedabad serves a large domestic market. The ports of Mumbai and Kandla give its access to international market as well. The dense population of region is a source of cheap labor. Now let us compare both the cotton textile industries of Osaka and Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad produces mainly cotton textile. Osaka produced woolen and silk. Osaka's cotton textile industry depended on imported raw material. Ahmedabad's cotton textile depends on local raw material. The power for Osaka mills was generated mainly from imported coal. The mills of Ahmedabad get power from the hydel power station of Western Ghats. Both Osaka and Ahmedabad are located in densely populated areas where cheap labor is available. And in both cities, the textile industry benefited from enterprises of local people. The textile industry of Osaka has declined due to the emergence of other industries. Next one, that is the most important industry in these days, that is information technology industry. The students of CBSE board are they start studying about the information technology as a additional subject. You must have heard the term information technology, that is IT. But what exactly is IT? IT includes everything that is necessary to process, store or transfer information in a digital form. Thus, it includes computers, software, different devices like modems, telephone services for transfer of information and so on. The latter half of the 20th century saw the development of certain electronic devices and software that made it possible to get information faster, cheaper and more reliably than ever before. The main reasons of growth of IT industry are the early computers 1940s to 1960s were extremely expensive and large. Requiring a lot of space, few could afford them. The invention of small electronic devices called integrated circuit, that is IC, or chip changed all that. A tiny chip can outperform a room full or old computers. The development of chips led to the availability of small, powerful and affordable computers and related equipment, which was one of the key reasons for the growth of the IT industry. Since silicon is used to make chips, it came to be closely associated with IT. Let us discuss the requirements of healthy IT industry are. The IT is basically idea driven. It is all about ideas. For it to succeed, you need visionary with ideas on how to use IT to change the way we live and work. The IT industry needs a large number of people trained in engineering, computer and related fields. Therefore, it succeeds at places where there are many good universities. Also, researchers at these universities help to generate ideas for new IT products. Besides these, the availability of telecommunication facilities, relatively inexpensive manpower and so on helps it IT activities. Let us now take a look at the IT industries at Silicon Valley, that is in USA, and Bangalore, that is in India, and we'll compare these both as well, as we have compared the cotton, textile and iron and steel industries. Silicon Valley of USA. The northern part of California, USA, lie the San Francisco Bay Area and Santa Clara Valley. This region was known as its fruit growing orchards and excellent universities. A chain of events spread over about 40 years transformed this region from a fruit growing valley to a high tech one. At the end of it, the valley got a new name, that is Silicon Valley. The roots of Silicon Valley are at place called Palo Alto, the home of Stanford University. Frederick Terman, called the father of Silicon Valley, taught at Stanford. He encouraged his students to start companies nearby. The university leased out a part of its land to these companies. This land came to be known as Stanford Industrial Park, later Stanford Research Park, giving grants and helped the universities, and they themselves gained from its research facilities. They also got well-trained graduates from the universities in the region. A large number of companies were born in Silicon Valley, including Hewlett-Packard, today known as HP, Intel, Sun and Cisco. Many other like IBM, Xerox opened development facilities here. The work of these companies changed the face of IT. For example, the development of microprocessor, that is a chip, heart or a device such as a computer by Intel led to the development of the PC. The IT industry of Silicon Valley is diverse. Some companies develop the building blocks of electronic devices, using which others make hardware, that is computer and printers, while still others develop software. One of the reasons of the success of Silicon Valley is the availability of funds to start an IT company. There are many interesting cases. For example, a man called Art Rock believed in the vision of Intel's founder and arranged $2.5 million for them in 2 days. A new system was started in Silicon Valley, first at HP and then at other companies. In this, a person working for companies has a share in its profit. This new system and agreeable climate of the area attracted young talented workers to Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, a number of companies often work together on certain projects, bringing in their expertise. Also, people keep moving between companies, bringing a new ideas. All this helps Silicon Valley remain a leader in IT development. Now, IT industry of Bangalore. Development of IT in India. The development of the IT industry in India was different from that of Silicon Valley. In beginning, late 1960 to 1980s, the IT industry was confined mainly to development of software for US and European clients. Companies like Tata Consultancy Services, that is called TCS, executed software development projects by sending programs abroad. Slowly, the confidence of foreign companies in India's capability grew and more work came into India. The reason for India's success were the availability of trained manpower capable of communicating in English and the fact that Indian companies could develop software at lower cost than Western companies. The Indian government also realized the economic importance of growing IT industry and took steps to improve telecommunication facilities, establish software parks and so on. By the turn of century, the Indian software industry was well established with IT related export contributing about 1/6 India's total exports. TCS had become the largest software firm in Asia. Many of world's leading chip and hardware companies had opened development centers in India. Indian development centers earned a reputation for quality and reliability. For the first time, India had an industry which had a leading position in the world. The cities where the IT industry developed initially were Mumbai, Chennai, Pune, Bangalore, New Delhi, Hyderabad. However, Bangalore became the preferred location for IT companies. The Garden City was now also referred to as Silicon Valley of India. Let us see why. What are those reasons which made it Silicon Valley of India? Karnataka has highest number of engineering colleges in the country, apart from the large number of software training centers. So IT companies in Bangalore get the required manpower easily. Bangalore already had an environment for research and development. The Indian Institute of Science, Indian Space Research Organization, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, etc. provided this environment. The Karnataka government took measures to attract IT companies. Software development parks with facilities like satellite communication services have helped in the growth of IT companies in the city. The climate of Bangalore makes foreign companies give it preference over other Indian cities. Bangalore also has its share of visionaries. The most notable is Narayana R. Murthy, co-founder of Infosys, which is one of India's leading software companies. His company introduced the concept of profit sharing in India. Differences between Silicon Valley and Bangalore. The Silicon Valley's growth is fueled by the development of important technologies in the valley itself and the requirement of companies, both domestic and foreign. Bangalore's IT industry mainly develops software for foreign companies, while Silicon Valley has a mix of software and hardware companies. Bangalore has mainly software companies. Silicon Valley has many companies that were started in implement a new idea. Funding for risky ventures is also available. Bangalore is not known for this, The cost of development is lower in Bangalore. The Indian companies are still much smaller than the IT giant of Silicon Valley. Now the last topic, that is industrial disasters. Accidents may occur in industrial units due to human carelessness or failure of machinery. Such an accident can be disastrous, especially if it occurs in a unit producing or using substances that are toxic or radioactive. One of the worst industrial accidents in history occurred in Bhopal in December 1984 when methyl isocyanate, a poisonous gas, leaked from a Union Carbide pesticide plant. It killed about 2,500 people and affected thousands of others. Many who survived died later from the effect of exposure to the gas. Many are still suffering from various health problems such as respiratory disorders and eye problems. In another accident in December 2003, a natural gas well burst in Gaokio in the Changqing region of China. It released toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. About 200 people died as a result, and thousands suffered poisoning and chemical burns. All the people living within 5 kilometers of the accident site had to be evacuated from their homes, reducing risks. We cannot stop setting up industries. Neither can we prevent accidents completely, but we can try to reduce damages caused by industrial accidents. Here are some steps that can be taken. Industries should not be set up in densely populated areas. Ideally, they should be grouped together in locations far away from residential areas and valuable wildlife habitats and ecosystems. Industry should not hold large stores of dangerous materials. The people living near an industrial unit should be made aware of the risks they face. They should also be told that to do in the event of an accident. There should be proper arrangements for dealing with fires and accidents and a system for altering people quickly. Industries should obey all environmental laws. They should have proper system for handling, managing and disposing of polluting and dangerous materials. So with this, our today's topic completes here. See you in next video with new topic, new material. Thank you.